What's up, bike bros, bike bitches? Today I've got a gear review for the Chrome 415 Storm work boot from Chrome Industries. Right off the bat, you can see these are not the stock laces that come on it. That's because I've had these for a little over a year and I've worn them out. I've beat the piss out of these shoes and I've got some thoughts on them. So, Chrome claims these to be a waterproof work boot, and like most Chrome products, you'd expect it to be bicycle friendly. So, let's break it down. Waterproof. Yes, these are a little wet. You could even see a little glimmer. I've been wearing them out. It's getting cold here in the front range of the Rocky Mountains, and I wear them everywhere. I had a job where I was working on snow at ski resorts, setting up snowboard competitions and things, and I'd wear these, and they were waterproof all day until the upper. This is all full leather, but until the upper starts to actually get soaked through, which takes a while. Totally waterproof, kept out the water a lot better than some people's purpose-built snow bro branded boots. As far as work boots go, I've worn work boots on construction sites. I've worn steel-toed combat boots on not construction sites. Terrorists, your game is through. And this doesn't really have much support up here. Obviously, it hits you right around the ankle, and that's not ideal right off the bat for me. I like it a little bit taller. And this is so soft up here. You can't tell on this one, but I believe it was my left shoe. This boot here, you can see how it's really heavily creased right there. That's because I had like a big shuttle case, like the size of a couch, because it is a couch, roll on my ankle, and it hurt real bad. But better than Vans? Yeah. Better than a lot of other crappy work boots out there? No, these are not. These are not really work boots. Hate to say it. The sole is pretty soft. I haven't had anything shoot through it yet, but I would not be surprised if I stepped on a nail that this would just let it right through. More on that in a second. While I'm talking about the sole, you can see it's just got this gum color. Mine's dirty because I use it. A little chrome lion logo thing, griffin, whatever that is. That's kind of cool. The design flourishes abound, and they're really subtle. Like this, this is the tag that tells you that it's the Storm edition of the work boot, which means you can't even read it, but that means that it's the waterproof version. You get another embossed logo there. You get the little tag there, and then on the tongue, covered in laces, is another logo. But it's all really subtle, and it's sharp. This shoe cuts a sharp profile. Wearing it with jeans, wearing it with chinos. I've gotten compliments on this shoe, like, "Oh, those are cool. Where'd you get those?" I wasn't too crazy about the style of that cap toe, but looking at this versus the other one, I wonder if maybe that has something to do with the waterproof construction. Other than that, I mean, it's just a really classy looking urban boot. Um, the size. I don't think these run true to size. I've got a 10 in my hand, and I should mention most of my Chrome shoes are 9.5. Here's a size 9 Converse Chuck Taylor. Let me make sure they match. And if you look at these guys side by side, and like that, they are pretty much the same footprint. So size 9 Chuck is a size 10 Chrome 415. And it's worth noting now that the sole of these is real small. And it feels a little bit like sometimes my foot is sort of overflowing over the sole. It's not real thick and chunky. It's very thin, but I could still kind of feel a little unstable. Part of that instability also has to do with the grip, the traction. There's not a lot. You can slide real easy on some snow, on some ice. When it comes from the factory, these grooves aren't very deep, and the tread just doesn't do it for me. So be careful. As far as being warm when it's cold, you're dry, so that's plus points. But I got this 10 knowing that I wear a 9.5, 9.5, and figuring that I wanted to double up on socks. I can still double up on socks in this, don't get me wrong. It's still, it breaks in a little bit, and it's pretty roomy, and it's comfortable, but It's not any warmer than anything else that's made out of leather. So there's just not any insulation going on in there. You can't. I don't have anything shine down in there, but there's nothing. It's just, I'm sure there's some sort of semi-permeable layer that has to do with the waterproofing, and that's pretty much it. The back of the shoe there, this is getting into the cycling usage. That is reflective, and again, not real. Here's a light, actually. Just found it. Cheap little LED. So looking down into the shoe, you can kind of, oh, hang on. There's more branding, more red chrome logos, but that's it. It's real thin. Which makes it a light shoe. So it's light when you're walking around. That's cool. It's light on the bike, which is good. But if you're going to use this with toe clips or platform pedals or something like that, it's very soft. Super soft. Which makes it comfortable. You know, you walk around in it all day. That's nice. This is one of the most comfortable boots I've ever had straight out of the box. You don't really need to break it in very much. But with that comes less stiffness, so for pedaling, you're going to be less efficient. That's not great. The reflective flourish is cool, keep you visible on the road, but I don't think this is any good for riding a bike. You'd be no better or worse off, except for the waterproofing, in the aforementioned Chucks. They're just as light, they're just as comfortable, and they're just as stiff or not stiff as this sole. So bear that in mind if you think you're going to get these and ride around on rainy days. Maybe your winter beater bike has platforms on it and you want some waterproof boots. This will do it, but don't expect any support, any stiffness at all in the sole. So looks sharp, it is comfortable, it is waterproof, it delivers on all of that. But for cycling, I'd say no, especially when they make such other great shoes for that. Overall, it does what it needs to do. I'm on my second pair of laces on it, so that tells you that I've been thrashing them. You can kind of tell the leather on here. It's faded. It's looking a little rough, and I've actually used like a leather treatment on this. I've used like a moisturizer kind of thing, and then I even put a little bit of kiwi polish on there, a little bit of black polish, when it was starting to look really run down. The leather started to fade. It wasn't so black anymore around the bottom of the shoe. So they'll hold up. I think they probably have another hard year in them, so that would be a lifespan of 2 years, which is longer than most work boots if you're working in them. But don't work in these. I mean, don't think for a second you can work in them. They look pretty darn sturdy from the outside, but that sole is not confidence inspiring, and the ankle support isn't there. These aren't any safer than any recreational shoe, but they are comfortable and they are dry. So the Chrome 415 Storm work boot is comfortable, it's good looking, it's designed for cyclists, but it's no good on the bike. It's not really a work boot, so not very true to its name, but I love it. And just bearing in mind its limitations, understanding this is for staying dry and staying comfortable in an urban setting, they excel there. Just not having the heel support, not having a strong grippy sole means this is no good for actual work, and the lack of stiffness means it's no good for riding. Everything else though, I love it. I wear it all the time. People give me comments on it, and now that it's starting to get cold and it's starting to snow, you'll be seeing me rocking these. And I also like Chrome socks. Chrome makes some nice merino wool socks. Those socks, this boot, 3 seasons, most of the country, most of the world, you're set. Unless it's getting really cold, this boot will get it done for you.
Yeah, tiptoeing in my Jordans. I done came down, tiptoeing in my Jordans. Just got the porch, tiptoeing in my foreign. You motherfuckers boring, you sleeping on me snoring. Don't worry, 'cause